All right, here we go. Presenting sponsor for the Husker game recaps is Dingman's Collision Center. They're a family-owned, family-operated group that's their roots run deep in Omaha. They got pride in the Omaha community. They've been the trusted name in collision repair in Omaha for almost 30 years. They built a reputation by doing things the right way and taking care of people one repair at a time, earning them to be voted first place in Best of Omaha for 20 straight years. 4 locations in Omaha, 120th and Maple, 144th and Industrial Road, Midtown at 50th and Saddle Creek, and downtown Papillion. Proud to be partnering with Dingman's Collision Center. And shouts out to them for sponsoring the Husker game recaps. Final score, Penn State Nittany Lions 37, your Nebraska Cornhuskers 10. Going to be a challenge to not be too negative today. Did you wake up on the negative side of the bed today or what?
I truly think that the fact we have 7 wins in the win column makes me a little less negative than
okay. Well, we'll see.
You know what I'm saying?
We'll see. With me, I'm now controlling this car.
I got an angry driver.
If I'm going to take you on the rumble bars, I'm going to be flipping people off, honking my horn.
Somebody flipped you off and about hit you, and now you're just hot. And you're looking for somebody to get ragey with.
And I got, my decisions on the radio are really bad. We'll see. Okay.
Learn how to drive, pal.
No. Well, it's funny. So as the game's getting ready to start, I sit down. I'm like, okay, I see the stadium's not full, not even close to full. I'm like, okay, all right. I see that the weather for late November, State College, not horrible.
Yep.
I think, okay, this is this is a Penn State season that has been kind of the season from hell here for over the course of the last 15 years. Interim head coach. Their star quarterbacks and crutches on the sideline. I'm like, man, I'm just sitting there going, man, you can't even begin to ask for better circumstances to play Penn State than what Nebraska has in front of them here. And then the game started. And so usually I sit down and prepare for these, and I'm like, the 14 plays that define the game, Bo, a lot of that feels like a waste of time.
Maybe besides the first series?
But maybe the first,
it's okay. It's the fourth and goal.
The fourth and 1.
Yeah.
At the 2. Really in some ways, everything after that play, it was just like everything went wrong. Yeah. But I guess I'll get into some of those on how, because Rule has been on, at this point, it's almost impressive the heater he is on for making the wrong decision on everyone. And I get we hindsight's 2020, but at the end of the day, we can judge that now. He feels like he has made the wrong decision in big moments to go for it or kick the field goal.
Nick, every time
it's crazy.
So of all the criticisms, I actually don't like criticizing play calls much. I feel like it's there's a lot more into it than we know. There's so much more that goes into everything that I think it's kind of amateur hour. When I find myself criticizing play calls, that's amateur hour for me. But I've been saying from the get-go kind of the same theme, which is when a team is better than you and they're the odds are not in your favor to get it. And I go back to Michigan. We were saying this in the opening drive against Michigan. It's the same conversation.
Yeah.
And I was saying, kick the field goal because it's Michigan.
Yeah.
If this is like UCLA and we just feel like this isn't a great defense and we've got an advantage, I'm okay with the fourth down, go for it situations, right? Versus just take the field goal. So it's not all or nothing. It's not we go for it every time. It's not we kick it every time. But you got to know the situation. Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, we're probably USC, we're probably should be taking the points, especially that first drive. It's like we need the points for what we just did. And I think Rule's going by some sort of all or nothing mentality where we have to show too much confidence or something. And I think he's misplayed that all year long.
I agree.
And so if there's a criticism from a play call standpoint, it's that I think we're bad in short yardage. I think we're bad on fourth down. I think I saw in the paper today, we're 30% on the year on fourth down. That tells me we're not good enough. Right. We're not a coin flip. So you can't go at it with that mentality anymore because we're just not good enough at it. So that's if I'm gonna be critical. I was going, okay, take the points, man. Like I didn't feel good about it. And then to tack onto it, we were late getting it in. We're late getting the play and the decision in, which means that because I think because Heine was in there, did his little fake sneak. And so we had to rush it then. So not only is the decision not great, you had to rush the decision. Two things that put you kind of at worse odds. So I'm like, dude, I don't like to be critical of play calls. Like
Me too.
But this to me falls under strategy versus like specifics of the call. This is a strategy thing that I think he keeps getting wrong.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's truly amazing. I mean, you're kind of like a 50. It's a coin flip. Like you're either going to get it or you're not. You're either going to get whatever. And he is just felt like he doesn't have a great. It's almost like he's not realistic with the team that he has or the opponent that he's playing. But
throughout the year we've talked about why I love the Eagles tush push because they're like 90% on it. They're unbelievable at it.
Yeah.
We're 30%. I mean, we're 30% of fourth down this year.
Yeah.
And most of those are these fourth and shorts that we just aren't getting.
Right.
And it's happening over and over. So the more we don't get them, the more they need to rethink either what we're doing on fourth and short or just like, hey, we're not that team right now. Like we're not a team that can take these kind of chances. And maybe we got to just settle for field goals and punts a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay. So put a pen in this conversation because we are going to revisit. I did write down because there was more when I went back through it in the first quarter and a half or so that was interesting. Yeah. But everything we're talking about, while it is extremely real, relevant, and matters, in some ways it feels like a waste of energy on our part when you are that outclassed physically. Like the talent gap looked dramatic.
Yeah.
Like dramatic. Nebraska isn't even close defensively in the trenches right now. Yeah. We can explain away whatever you want on this or that. Like I haven't heard John Butler and people love to take these things and throw it in their face when it doesn't go right. He talked about like pointing out their rush defense as low hanging fruit, blah, blah, blah. Like somehow it's not real. I mean, you have been bad at stopping the run all year.
Yeah.
And Penn State ran the ball 39 times, 231 yards, 5.9 yards per carry, and 4 touchdowns. Now Nebraska's rush defense is 100th in the country. They're giving up 177 yards per game. Yards per rush, Nebraska's defense ranks 121st in the country, giving up 5.2 yards per rush. You can call that low-hanging fruit if you want. It's not even close to good enough. So, and then what's hard is like the D-line, it's not even like they're going like, hey, we're going to give up some size because, man, we are some pass rushing fools.
We're not good there either.
They don't get – so I sit there, I'm like, you don't get sacks. You don't get disruption in TFLs. You don't stop the run. This defensive line is a huge issue. So you watch the game and you see just dramatic – and you could tell it right away. On their first 98-yard drive, you went, oh, no.
Yeah.
And the talent gap and the issue in the trenches is just glaring. So we can sit here and we're going to get into some of the minutia and the details and all that stuff. But ultimately that game came down to that looked like varsity versus JV at times in the trenches.
Yeah. Maybe that game solidified. Not that we didn't know that like we're not great on the front seven, but I think the front seven, it's become obvious that like there's just huge holes that need to be filled.
Yeah.
I mean, McCullough will be gone. I mean, Winery might be back. And Keona Davis isn't bad. Like he had a
good game against UCLA.
He's okay. But like the interior is where like full scale, we need some new players in the interior.
Yes.
Like in the offseason, we didn't bring in one person that even contributed, I don't think.
No.
We just didn't, right? We didn't do that. Linebacker, like we're not going to have a linebacker coming back that I feel like is
ready to day one next year
on the level that we expect.
Yep.
I mean, we don't got one guy like that right now where we need 3. A minimum like 2 good ones, right?
Yep.
So we've got let's call it 4 to 5 big holes to fill in that front seven that I don't know how we take it the next leap without that.
Yeah.
That's maybe like, if anything, that's maybe the most obvious thing we just learned from Penn State is that above all else needs to get fixed.
Yes. And then, so that jumped out at me. And then the other thing that became abundantly clear as you're watching is just the reality of misleading records to a certain extent. And I don't mean to discredit Nebraska's 7-3, but let's swap schedules with Penn State's schedule and see what record Nebraska has. Let's, if Nebraska plays Oregon, at Iowa, at Ohio State, and Indiana, 0-4 in those games.
0-4 in those games. I mean, we did beat UCLA. We did beat Northwest. Like
the two teams. Yeah. So it's hard, but
so we are sort of beating the teams we're supposed to beat.
Right.
And we're losing to the teams that are better than us. And I think Minnesota's the one that
the one, yeah, that game's the only one you go, what the hell happened there?
they just outclassed us that one. So I don't know. That's where this year is. I mean, we're kind of Iowa's going to be our.
Well, yeah. We'll get man, I'm going to wrap up this whole pod. We're going to talk a lot about that game because I don't mean to be like Mr. Because we do this. We make every game like Black Friday, the biggest game in the history of football. Like every game. It's like Houston Christian. 5 reasons why it's the biggest game of the rule era. You know like we do that.
But maybe that's why football is as good as it is, because you only get so many, and it seems like after every week there's a different but equally important consequence. And it's like, and so that's why football is great.
Yes. But it does swing. We do these swings, after UCLA, like, wow, offense looked great. TJ Lateef, blah, blah, blah. Like, I do think, do we swing too much? Probably. Yeah. But with all the things that unfolded last night in State College, like there's a lot to be alarmed about with what that game looked like. Yeah. So, okay. You ready to let's get into some of the minutia of the game. At least try to give the game some respect. Okay.
Give it a recap.
I'll give it a recap. First of all, I want to 3rd and 7 on the opening drive. Dennis Sutton has the most laughable offsides I've seen.
Yeah.
It was like 3rd and 7. He even kind of was like, I mean, before they could even throw the flag, he was like running around TJ Lateef. It was like, he was like, I
almost got you.
Right. He tried to time it, but it's amazing. So they go from 3rd and 7 to 3rd and 2, and guess what happens? Emmett Johnson rips off a 52-yard run.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my God, are they like, is that going to be a play that kind of swings things? But then we already talked about it. 4th and 1 at the 2, they go for it. Couple of things with that drive though. What is up with Heinrich Harburg on that drive? He came in and got under center twice just to hand it to Emmett Johnson. And then on the final play, it was Lateef on the 4th down that was under center and handed it to Emmett.
They said that messed up the get the play and you had to sub.
Right.
And it slowed everything down. Like, it's like, it's just another thing that we're doing that, it's, I don't know.
Well,
I don't want to be too critical because like, it's fine. It doesn't bother me except for, like, say, if you're gonna go on 4th down, you better be good at it. And I just don't think we are.
I just was confused at like, okay, is putting Heine under center giving the impression that it's going to be a sneak, and you're hoping people like crowd? I don't. Maybe, or then I maybe thought like, are they setting something up? Yeah, so they never went back to it though. Now the game maybe got away from them to where they couldn't go back to it. It just was odd on the opening series.
Yeah.
Heinrich Harburg took 2 snaps under center. It just was bizarre.
Yeah.
98-yard ensuing drive from Penn State. Like I said, you could see it right away. Like, no. Next drive. Nebraska gets to 3rd and 10. They get the false start with the snap. Justin Evans snaps it. It hits the official.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. There's a theme for the day. This was a more sloppy day with false starts, guys going in motion and not getting set. They had 2 of those in one drive, which was not good. But Nebraska holds Penn State to a field goal.
Yep.
And then Nebraska drives and gets a field goal. So you forget, like, it was 10-3.
10-3, and you're still in the ball game. And that's, and like, when you're playing a more talented team, that's sort of where you need to be. You always need to be within that score.
Yes.
7 to 10 points is sort of like where you got to keep close to, because against the better team, 14 points, 17 points starts to feel like it's impossible.
Yes. And so this is where it gets completely away for Nebraska here. Penn State, 8 play, just march down the field, touchdown to make it 17-3. The ensuing kickoff.
This one hurt me.
Yes, because Kenneth Williams, apparently hammy was tight. He gets a late scratch, so it's Barney and Nelson. Barney and Nelson are literally standing next to each other as Barney catches it. But he might have been on the goal line
Nelson caught it.
Was it Nelson that caught it?
Nelson backed up and caught it.
Okay, so it was Nelson that caught it.
And they had no lead blocker.
They had nothing. Yeah. And then you get upended at the 10. And it's like,
It felt like we lost the game there. As much as anything, I think the momentum shifted too much in that like series and a half or whatever.
Well, yeah, because okay, so that happens. Then on second down, they run the play action. The DN doesn't even just goes beelines right at Lateef, sacks him at the 1 yard line.
Yep.
They then try and run a go route. Did you see they kept doing like they bring Lindenmeyer in like short motion? They'd kind of like chip on.
How is that a penalty though?
I don't know. I was confused by that.
I don't understand.
I don't either. But
they called a penalty on us, and it's like, okay, well,
I
not that it mattered.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But then punt. Obviously, it's a short punt because Archie's got to get it off. Penn State returns it to the 28-yard line, and then you get the late hit.
I thought
Archie
it was
Wilson.
on the Penn State guy. The Penn State guy ran into him almost.
That's what it looked like Archie was. Archie wasn't. I mean, you're running full speed and you got. I mean,
he didn't lay out. He was like an upright kind of hitting him, but the Penn State guy delivered the blow. So you can't tell me that is a penalty if he is jumping into you, right? It's almost like when you're in basketball and you're set.
Yes,
and somebody drives down the lane and jumps into you, and they call it a block, and you're like, he jumped into me, like. So there's a part of me. It's like, hey, Archie's trying to tackle this guy, and he was about to hit him, but the guy turned into him and delivered the blow.
It was a really weird. It didn't feel egregious. Like what are you doing, Archie?
You know why? Because that guy wasn't avoiding contact. He was seeking contact. So I would have. I mean, to me, that's one. I don't do reviews anyway, but like if I could review, you should be able to review that. that's what I hate.
But now the ball's at the Nebraska 14-yard line. 3 plays later, Nick Singleton, untouched, 11-yard touchdown.
Game.
And at that point, it's ball game. I mean, it is literally like, oh my God, it's over. It goes from 10-3. Now they missed the extra point, but still 23-3. And you're like, this thing's over, because then Nebraska, real quick, Nebraska gets the ball back with I think a minute 14 with 3 timeouts. Yeah. What did you think of 4th down at the 46 with 6 seconds left with 2 timeouts? I thought they were going to run a Hail Mary, and they run the tunnel screen to Barney, and Barney gets hit and fumbles. But I can understand what timeouts you maybe have time to run a quick out.
You can run a quick slant or a quick out. You can get a quick slant can get you 10 yards, and you can get down and maybe get a second left. You could maybe kick a field goal or throw a Hail Mary from there.
I just thought they'd maybe throw the Hail Mary from there.
Yeah, I think that was the plan, because they're on the 46. If they got 10, it'd be long. But I think that they were thinking you have enough time. I think you can get 10 yards in 5 seconds.
Yeah, it just was a weird. I thought that was weird. But then the reason it also was ball games because Penn State had the ball to start the third quarter.
Exactly.
And what did Penn State do? 8 plays, 75-yard touchdown drive. Katron Allen punches it in. Penn State on that drive had runs of 7 yards, 8 yards, 29 yards, 13 yards, and 7 yards. It's now 30-3. Thanks for flying United. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, I think the two standout moments of this game are obviously not getting on 4th and 2 to start the first drive, and then that little sequence of we give up a touchdown, big mistake on a special team, big mistake on the punt, and it's over in a flash. And it feels like it's been a long time since we played a game like that where it felt like it was over before it began.
Mm-hmm.
And it is because you got to play those sequences when you're the less talented team, like your life depends on it. You can't just give up. You just can't let it snowball. And I think we'd kind of gotten over that. And this felt like a regression where we reverted to just letting the game get away and like, sorry, whoops.
Yeah,
didn't think it through on that kickoff. Whoop, just, bad punt, can't get it out of our own, like it felt like a pretty lax effort in a lot of ways.
That's the thing. That's coming off a bye. I didn't think Nebraska had an edge to them at all in that game. No. And, I always hate to play that card too, of just like, man, they didn't want it. I mean, that's always very like a weird path to go down, but I didn't feel like they looked like they were flying around out there. And maybe it's hard to fly around when you are just physically overmatched at every single position.
Yeah, you saw the way they were blocking our defensive line sometimes, where it was like we were just fighting to try to hold our ground, and we weren't getting off a block. They were getting mauled.
Yeah, Penn State's offensive line was not. It was one of the rare combinations too, and that's the other thing I wanted to like. They were mauling Nebraska, and they also were scheming Nebraska.
They exactly
like they had guys running wide open. Anytime they wanted to throw the ball, that quarterback goes 11 for 12 with 11 for 12 for 181 yards or something like that. I mean, it was,
they basically threw it. They threw it over the top of the first layer, under the deep layer, and it wasn't hard. Guys were wide open.
Yeah, wide open.
They won the battle. Like they won the physical battle. And they flat out schemed us. I mean, they called a pretty good game.
Yep.
And, it's like, it's not hard to see what's going to happen when the better talent team is calling good plays and execute. It's like, it's over.
Yes.
It's over quick.
It's over fast. And so it's just off of a bye week, considering everything, it just was, Nebraska looked like they got a little bit out coached. They looked like they weren't totally ready to play. But again, the Jimmys and the Joes aspect of this thing is real.
Yeah.
But and that's just it's when you just watch Michigan play Nebraska this game, you're just like, there's a difference. There's a big difference in the players that Penn State had on the field and the players that Nebraska had on the field, and that revealed itself pretty dramatically in this one.
Yeah.
What did you think of the offense? 10 points scored, 318 total yards. They were 9 for 18 on third down, 1 for 6 on fourth down. Emmett Johnson got to 100 yards rushing, but after that 52-yarder on the third play, didn't really get much else after that.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you said we didn't have an edge. I was trying to kind of maybe frame what is it? What am I seeing here that's the problem? And it's not necessarily one player, or it's more like I said, football is a game of imposing your will. It's physical and psychological. I mean, I think we don't scare anyone. We don't have any player on this team offensively at a skill position. Our lines, our front seven, that scares anybody. This guy, Penn State had a couple of those guys, a couple offensive linemen, a couple defensive linemen.
I mean, they took Lindenmeyer kind of out of the passing game a couple of times solely to do the short motion to block Dennis Sutton.
Yes. It changes our game, right? So when I say we don't scare anyone, there's an aspect of football where you can make somebody hesitate. You can make somebody do something they don't want to do based on what, essentially, we're worried about you. I see these good teams play us with so much confidence. They're not worried. They're not worried about doing anything specific because they know we're not worried about any of these guys. We'll do what we want to do. Where we need to get some dudes out here and change the attitudes, right? Change the confidence the team's playing us by putting a little hesitation and fear in their mind. Better not drop back to pass right now because of those guys. Or, hey man, we can't run against Nebraska. Those horses in the middle, you can't run against Saragusa and Ray Lewis. Like, it changes your mindset. We don't have anybody that's changing our mindset. Like I'll go back. We had Trey Palmer for a season. Their safeties were deep. We put fear into the mind of every DB because Trey Palmer's on the field, right? We just aren't doing that anywhere. And until we get some guys to lighten the load, right? I mean, Emmett's done a nice job of being a guy.
But I can tell even in the fact that I don't necessarily look at him totally like that yet.
So like he's not terrifying, right? He's a good player.
Yeah, he's good.
We love what he's doing. But right now, nobody's scaring the teams we're playing into changing their game.
Totally with you.
There's too much confidence. I mean, that's why teams are like, God, they go for it and fourth against us a lot because we're not like I don't want to say I'm scared of teams. I'm not scared. I just think it's strategy. When I hesitate against Michigan and Penn State because I think, you know what, those defensive lines, they got the edge on us right now. So we have to do, but that's the reality. And we need to have some of that where, it's not one-sided all the time. It needs to go both ways.
Agreed.
And I think that's what I'm seeing is we got nobody that scares the other team and, imposes their will, sort of gives us an edge, makes them hesitate, and then you get an advantage. And I feel like we're not getting enough advantages. It's too hard. We have to play too perfect to win. And we're not going to win more than 7-8 games ever if it's that case.
I completely agree with everything you just said. And the other thing too with the offense is the offense to me feels a little bit like you go to we used to have meals on the road with Coach Altman when we were at Creighton at Golden Corral.
Yeah.
Okay. His other first trip, he was like, fellas, we'll get in. We're going to throw our stuff in the hotel. We're going to get a steak, fellas. And I was like, oh, a steak. Let's go. Where are we going for a steak? We pulled up to the mother Golden Corral. Okay. But, and also the Golden Corral at 8:30 at night when they're it's
rubber.
It's rubber.
Yeah. The steaks are rubber.
To me, Nebraska's got their whole picture offensively is what your Golden Corral plate looks when you get back. It's like you got a slice of pizza. You got some you got some sweet and sour chicken. There's a steak. There's some pumpkin pie. It's like a mismatch of a bunch of things. Yeah. It's like, what even is Nebraska's offense? They have Dana Holgorsen as the offensive coordinator. You conjure up what you think when Holgorsen's offense is doing it. That's not what this looks like at all.
Yeah.
You have a guy that is top 5 in the country in rushing yards, so you want to lean on him. But you have this 5-star quarterback in Dylan Raiola that you want to let him air it out. You got this offensive line that's not good at pass protection, but they're okay at running. And it just, to me, I think of, and this is more maybe a topic for the offseason, Nebraska has to get a clearer vision, I think, of what the hell they want to be offensively. It's one of my criticisms of Rule this entire time since he's arrived. Now, I do think the fact that Raiola presented himself makes it challenging, but I've gone on this rant before, but remember Satterfield got here. It was crusade for the huddle, back to the fullback. Yeah. You go get Jeff Sims. He's a dual threat guy. Let's go. But then you go get Danny Kaelin. Danny Kaelin is nothing like Jeff Sims, okay? Then all of a sudden you got to smash things up because Harburg's your quarterback. You're running the option. And then all of a sudden Dylan becomes available. And now you're going to okay, you got this quarterback, you're going to air it out a bunch, but now you maybe don't got the skill guys to do that. You go all in on that. It's just, and then you go get Holgorsen. It's, to me, there's been too much zigging and zagging as to what they want to be offensively. And I think there's a reason. Sometimes Nebraska's offense is inconsistent.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're inconsistent because you just aren't really good at any one thing. And one of the reasons you're not good at any one thing is you don't really have a full vision of what you want it to be in the first place.
Yeah. I just don't know that we're I think Emmett has emerged, but I guess don't know if we're able to compliment him, maybe because the skill guys aren't, nobody can go deep and we can't pass protect. So I don't know I don't know how to, it's like, I know what you're saying. It's like, what are we? But it's like, it's hard to be anything if you can't do those two things.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, no,
So it's
fair.
like, we're a running team, but are we? Like, I don't know. Like,
Well, that's what I'm saying. I guess, yeah. And yes, you provided a reason for it, but that's just kind of like,
are we just too limited on the O line that like we're not even good enough to just say like we're not like, oh, we're gonna be a running team? Well, like, well, I don't know. I struggle with that because you got to complement your run game too, right? You can't just say we're a run team, we don't pass. Like you got to have a complement, right? Because otherwise it's too easy. So I just don't know even how to frame it other than like, I just don't see us threatening anybody down the field, which means like, okay, then you want to run it with no threat, and then they can crowd the run.
Well, even Blackledge at one point in maybe the second quarter or something, like before a play got ran, he took the telestrator and he like circled the box.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, there was like 9 guys in the box, all within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. And Blackledge was like, at some point you gotta back these people up.
I mean, Penn State, we're going to run it 40 times. But you know what? They had 12 passes and they completed 11 of them. And they
for
were
181 yards.
That was as equally as important as their run game. And that's all I'm saying is like Penn State in this moment is not a good team, but they decide they're a run team. But you got to complement the run with the occasion. Like last week against Michigan State, they hit a deep post for a touchdown. It was a 70-yard touchdown, right? So like,
why is Nebraska not capable of that?
We don't throw it down the field at all.
I don't understand. I mean, I get why maybe the pure 7-step drop is hard. I'm talking about like a lot of the completions that the Penn State had, and even the 70-yarder against Michigan State are like play action, not a rollout, but you know what I mean? Like you get out of the pocket a little bit, or it's not a pure drop back. And for the life of me, I cannot understand it as Nebraska is 11 games in and you have not seen like play action, feet set, bomb on like a post or a go or something.
It feels so it's weird. I think our identity at one point was like short to intermediate passing game because it's Dylan, right?
Yeah.
I think maybe that was what we were
trying to be.
That's what I think Holgorsen feels comfortable with that. He's,
that's what
he's an air raid guy.
Correct.
But, I think we've shifted more to run the offense through Emmett, but we're not complementing it as well as we need to. Like, you just got to get the defense off of him to a degree. And so I feel like that's the portion since Emmett has emerged and Dylan's gone down. Like, we've got to we're not going to beat Iowa if we can't back them off a little bit, So I don't know. You're right. Like, do we have an identity? I don't know. But we also, it's like with Dylan, it's like that's what Dylan did best was sort of the short to intermediate, which I'm fine with. But you got to compliment whatever you got, like whoever you got playing there. You got, and at some point, we've got to get guys that threaten the defense.
And maybe that's what I'm saying, like in the whole Golden Corral analogy of like, of this compliment. Like, when you're at the Golden Corral, one dish doesn't necessarily complement the other. You're like, hey,
you want steak and potatoes. You don't want like chicken, steak,
sweet and sour chicken, and then
Asian food,
you don't, and then like you don't want all of that.
Ice cream, but it's like that's not what you're. Like, that's not a compliment. It's just like a jarbled mix or something.
Right. It's like everything individual. It's like, do you like steak? Yes. Do you like this? Yes. But like all on one plate, it doesn't really like that picture doesn't look right.
Yeah.
And so what did you think? Lateef, 21 of 37, 187 yards, no touchdowns. You did have a rushing touchdown. Like he wasn't great, but he wasn't terrible either.
No, he was all right. Like he was fine.
He made a couple of throws that were like
nice throws. He made a couple of nice scrambles. Was he scaring you? Did he scare Penn State?
I don't think.
I don't think he scared Penn State at all.
No.
So that's kind of where I'm. If my judging metric of the day is, do you scare me? And I'm just going to judge everybody.
What's funny about this?
Do you scare me? And I feel like nobody on our team right now scares me.
Well, no. If you could go back, it's funny the things. Me and you always joke that we like black out when we do this pod and we're like, what are we even talking about? But I vividly remember doing the recap pod with you after the Cincinnati game.
Yeah.
And you said then, so that'd have been August 20 something.
Yeah.
You're like, this offense isn't scaring anybody.
Yeah, that's right.
And here we are, November 23rd, and you're kind of saying the same thing. So we're giggling about the whole, like, my old metric is like, do you scare anybody? But like, you've been kind of consistent on that.
And it's weird because like I love Nebraska football, and I'm such a homer.
Yeah,
that I like these players because they're my guys. I love
Emmett Johnson.
I like Hunter and Lindenmeyer. Key. I like these guys, but like you gotta if the metric or the judging metric is do you scare me? Nobody's fallen under do you scare me?
Right.
Like you scare me to play against you. I just don't think I do. I think if I was playing against our offense, I'd be like, okay, fine. Like,
yeah. Well, even early on here, and I don't want to go too far in this, but like Lateef's a good runner. He's not Nico or Adrian Martinez or Taylor Martinez. Like,
so this I had this thought, and here's you need to give me your answer. Do you take Adrian Martinez or TJ Lateef right now?
Oh, I take Adrian.
Isn't that crazy though?
But that's I also like I feel like I will go down like buying into Adrian.
But see,
I don't know.
I'm like, are we crazy? But I guess he's playing for the Niners, right?
Yeah,
like,
he's in the NFL, so we have the benefit of that.
But that's where it was like, I thought Adrian was a pretty good player.
But if you gave Adrian Emmett Johnson and these skill guys,
maybe that's right, though.
I mean, I think Adrian would look a little bit different.
Maybe that's
but
the
like
case.
When Adrian ran, just picture, remember Colorado game 1, 2018.
Yeah.
Adrian takes a zone read, breaks a guy off, takes it like 40 for a touchdown. Like that, he got my attention running. Lateef is like solid. Like actually, and this is back because I feel like I'm not. He actually made some good run. His scramble touchdown run was good. He even made some tough runs. Like
he lowered his
shoulder and knew where the sticks were and all those sorts of things. But like, I also don't think like. I feel like walking away from that game, I'm like, oh, he can run, but I don't know if he's a great runner.
Yeah, he's young. So here's where I'm pretty slow to even judge Lateef. Like I say, he doesn't scare me right now because I don't think he does. But like I don't know that the story's written on him yet.
No.
Like
agreed.
There's a world where but like I also didn't see any sort of like this guy's going to put a team on his back someday and play like he's going to make something. Like there was none of that like Johnny Manziel, like I'm just going to figure it out.
I agree.
He's not even close to that right now. He's sort of like nice little player, nice little talent. Like
he looks
competent.
He looks like a freshman backup.
He looks like a good freshman backup quarterback, and we don't know what his future is.
Okay, because I completely agree. So did the TJ Dillon quarterback situation clear up any?
I think it did. I mean, I think it did.
Interesting. So you're now
Dillon is the guy, and it's not close for me right now. Like right now, it's not close.
Okay.
Like if TJ Lateef balls out against Iowa, we'll have another conversation. But TJ didn't show me enough.
Yeah, to turn the page on Dillon.
Turn the page on Dillon. No, this was his chance. Like you don't go out there and because I actually think Dillon's playing that game. I don't know if we win, but I think the game's closer. That's the difference.
What's interesting, by the way, is after we recorded a midweek pod, Dayton Raiola, Dillon's little brother, decommitted from Nebraska.
Yes,
which then has sparked up a lot of is this like the beginning of like, does that maybe signal something with Dillon in the offseason here?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I think it's more that Dayton, from my understanding, he's not like a super highly touted recruit. And he might just be looking at truly like playing time.
Well, I feel like
Lateef probably shows him like in our other recruits.
Trey Taylor, there's another, I know that's the thing that there's a part of me that never understood, other than the fact that he's Dillon's brother, like that quarterback picture doesn't seem, you have a freshman there, Lateef, who's looked decent. Trey Taylor, he's the guy that's like hosting. He's like the face peer recruiting, not Dayton, which that's telling. Yeah. So I do think like if you just isolate it and look at it that way, it's completely understandable. But I also think it's not necessarily totally being, an ambulance chaser to be like, that's also like, I mean, Dylan's little brother decommitting is maybe like, what's going on there?
If he goes to a big time school, I will reconsider. But my assumption is he's going to go to a smaller school, a less high profile school than
in a power conference,
and he's going to go.
I don't know.
I think he's going to go. I think his family, their mindset is go make the money by being the guy that plays. Where right. I just don't think he's going to play here. Most likely, would be my assumption.
Okay. Did we talk enough about how bad Nebraska's run defense was? I think we probably did, but I mean, it's bad. And you know what's interesting about this season so far is, in some ways, from a big picture standpoint, it's playing out exactly how I thought it would. Yeah. Like you and I, we picked the losses to be Michigan, check. At Minnesota, check. USC, check. Penn State, check.
I guess maybe if you want to, because you asked me how you feel, I'm like, not terrible. I think maybe that's the only reason why.
And though, let me keep going. Our concerns: D-line, pretty thin up there. Yeah. No Ty, no Nash, very concerning. Okay. In a related story, Nebraska's 100th in rush defense. Yeah. Okay. The other thing, backup running back. Like, did they've got another guy? They don't. Like, that's maybe a little, I mean, the Singleton, Katron Allen picture of like, when you can put in both those guys and both are like equally capable, that makes a difference. I'm not saying that's the whole reason like the season is, but it's weird. Like the season from a game to game standpoint, win and loss, is playing out exactly how we thought. And some of the big issues are exactly what we thought they would be. And yet I feel like I'm having to start this pod being like, can't be too negative. I better not be too negative today. Now, just because you expect something and it happens doesn't mean that you're okay with it.
Yeah.
But it's just weird when you stop and think about like.
So I think you're right. Like that might be the reason why I'm not freaking out right now. The issue becomes like you lay eggs these last like 2 games in a bowl game. If you're laying eggs, if you're laying like, man, we can't score, we're getting up 30, 40 points a game. That's different then. I feel like the wins and losses are important. How you play the game is very important too.
I couldn't agree more.
I need to see us back on track with being competitive, being sharp, playing to win, having an edge. That will sort of help me through the off season. I feel like we've been on track with the Matt Rule build in its own wave. It's been a little up and down, but I think we're still on track. But we got some pieces we got to put together in the offseason. I think it gets harder to put those pieces if we don't
limp to the finish line here
somewhat well in these last 2 games.
Because that's so I'll go to, we'll get to the Peerless thing, and I've a couple more things, but the thing I wrote down was, listen, Rule is the guy for the foreseeable future. Yeah. So you have to preface everything with that. He got an extension, all that. But we are at the end of year 3. This isn't year 1. This isn't year 2. This is the end of year 3. And there was an element of, I thought Nebraska by the end of year 3 of Matt Rule, you expected. I don't think it's too unrealistic to expect Nebraska to be past performances like that, where you look like a junior varsity team on national TV and the game's over at halftime.
And especially because it's not Ohio State in the top 10.
This is a mess of a Penn State season.
This is a mess of a Penn State.
Yeah,
that's the problem I have with that.
I agree. It's like, I get it. They're talented. This was a team that was in the college football playoff a year ago. This is a team that at one point was in the preseason top 10, but this is still a team that lost 6 in a row. They lost their starting quarterback. It's an interim head coach. It's the stadium's not even close to full. They're playing just to limp in the fucking Frosted Flakes Bowl. Okay. Yeah. So let's keep it in perspective on both ends of like, it's talented, but like, this is a mess.
This is
a team.
This is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to beat Penn State.
By the way, Nebraska's, I mean, they played a down Michigan team without their head coach and a freshman quarterback. big opportunity there with USC. You have at home, you have them down. This is not a vintage USC team. With you have Penn State on the road, and for all the things we just laid out. So like it's the season began with this narrative from Rule and the media, the year 3 bump. Year 3 is when things take off. That's when things pop. Does it look like it's popping to you? And you can answer if you want, but I'm more asking it like you to the grand you. I've said all along, and this is where like all of a sudden now I'm like flipping off people on I-80 and everything. But
Nick, calm down, Nick.
I've said all along that I don't think they look that much better overall than they did last year. That's just my opinion. I think they've taken a massive step forward in special teams. Emmett Johnson exploded into being a real player, and Dylan Raiola made some plays in the crunch time. Like, check. But rush defense, massive step back. Pass protection, massive step back. Overall offensive consistency week to week, still pretty concerning. In-game coaching, in-game decisions, still pretty concerning. And after that game, and thinking about the entire season and keeping in mind the gift of a schedule that Nebraska has played, I think it is entirely fair to ask about kind of like, is there been enough progress here? Which means what you said a second ago, this Iowa game is, I think this Iowa game is very, very important for the trajectory of things as Nebraska moves forward into the offseason and into year 4.
Yeah.
They got to go beat Iowa, Bo. You go get beat by Iowa and look similar to what you looked like on Saturday night, and you finish the season 7-5 with this schedule.
Yeah, that's the hard part. You're saying, do we look that much better than last year? I think we're better in a lot of ways. I do think we're better in a lot of ways.
I do too.
I don't know that our talent, though, like in the world where you can upgrade your talent quickly through the portal, like we just didn't. We just really didn't. I mean, we got Key and Hunter. We got Winery. But like we just didn't do it in so many spots, especially where we lost our talent. Like we lost
it right in the middle,
right in the middle in our D line, our linebacker,
linebacker.
Like
yeah,
we lost talent and didn't fill it at all. And so it's hard because I think we have gotten better, but then we sort of we went down in a few spots. So like we
got better in certain areas, but then I think that's why you got worse.
Yeah, like you got worse in certain. So like I do think overall we've made slow and steady progress, but it's not Indiana, Vanderbilt, rocket go from 2 wins to 12, right?
Right.
We've seen people rocket out, like rocket ship. I'm still scratching my head how these people are doing it, but the last thing I'm going to come to is I think it's just like there's like 5 to 7 guys we got to go get that are just not on our roster that we can't make a leap until we go get those guys in the imaginary world that are as good as I want them to be.
I think I won't say who I was talking to, but I had a conversation with someone the other day about Nebraska football, and they were like, "Hey man, what do you think?" And I was like, "Well, and blah blah blah." And he was just like, "All I'm saying is, where are the pros?
Where are the pros?"
And so that in some ways that's letting the coaches off the hook, but that's also like a part of their job too.
Yeah.
When I look on the football field, I just don't feel like I'm seeing enough NFL guys.
That's right, Nick. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And
whether that's development, that's talent evaluation, whether that's portal, whether that's, I can't imagine, or money and then NIL, whatever it is, it's not.
But that's where we've done something wrong for a long time in the sense of like, we've gone that many years and just not put that many guys in the portal. So it comes through your base recruiting in the pros.
Yeah.
Because it's base recruiting and it's portal. And we've got the money. Don't tell me we don't got more resources than the top 20. Like, once we start getting the top 20 to 30 teams, we're in there.
Yes.
Like total spend. So I just feel like though we don't look like we're in the top 20 of talent. So we're missing something. Our dollars are not going far enough.
I agree. I
Our
agree.
recruiting efforts are not going far enough because we're either not doing a good enough job evaluating, or we're just like, I don't know, or we're just. I mean, I don't think it's development. I don't really think it's development.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard because it's just a combination of what's weird is how it just this season and how important this Iowa game is. There's just a big difference between, like, if Nebraska beats Iowa and then goes and wins a bowl game and gets to 9 wins and they finish the season with beating Iowa and winning a bowl, like, now, okay.
Yeah.
Now, and you may say, Nick, well, that's hypocritical, or geez, why don't you ride the roller coaster a little bit more, buddy? But like, I'm just going off of what these games look like to me. And it's a combination of the eye test and then just the raw wins and losses. And so this Black Friday game, Bo, it feels like a big game. I mean, this is your nemesis. This is your rival. They come into Memorial Stadium on Black Friday and beat you, and you're sitting at 7 wins at the end of the year, and you lose. You go 1-3 in November, and it still looks like it looked.
Yeah.
Just I don't know, man.
I do think getting to 7 was important. Like,
I do too.
It's a step up, but like I said, you want to end on a high note for the off season, for the morale. Like, it's all good to do it. I mean, this isn't our playoff season anyway, but like, no matter whether we win them or lose them, we've got to be great in the portal this year. We just do.
Yeah.
Like, we just do. Like, if we're going to make any sort of run next year, if we go into next year with this same team, Nick, roughly, and say, but then we're going to do it. We're just going to do it with this team next year. It's like, I think we've seen, like, there's a ceiling, and that ceiling is you're not beating the better talented team.
I agree.
That's just not in these guys' it's just not in it right now. So they've got to do great. And winning helps that, right? The more they win these 2 games, I think it helps us in the portal. It helps
totally.
us go like, hey, look, we're on the rise. We're going to pay you. We're on the rise. Fans are more into it. It all works together. So I don't know. They got to get it either way, but we can either help ourselves or hurt ourselves.
I agree. Sure. It's about some of these guys make their portal decisions solely based on a check and how much,
somewhat. Yeah. I mean,
but it's also based a little bit on, like, you do want to go to a place that feels like it's rising, you know? And that's why how this season ends here is important in that discussion, in that picture. And it just felt like that was, even, and again, I don't want to do the sports talk radio thing that I used to do of just always, climbing in between the post-game press conferences and all that stuff. But I even thought Rule's post-game press conference was a little odd yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, I thought his, and I mean, I suppose you can play this. He seemed just disinterested in even talking about the game. We don't have time to, my message to the team is we don't have time to even think about that game. We got to turn the page to Iowa, which he's probably right. But it's just, I don't know. It felt like he's up there talking about, like, guys still playing hard and stuff. And it's like, it's year 3, man. Are we still talking about that?
I mean, it's an interesting one for him.
It had to have been less. I was thinking about this morning, drinking coffee, getting ready. I was like, that had to have been bad for him. I mean, you're coming home.
You sort of just were on the brink of, like, are you going to go? Are you not going to go?
You were at one point.
Do they want you? Do they not want you?
You're from State College. You played football there. You walk into your house and get absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
Like, that had to have been a miserable experience for him.
A little bit. Yeah.
Like that, because that wasn't good.
Yeah, at all. That's just it's a bad week. It's a bad one.
Peerless, ready to do it?
Let's do it.
Peerless Energy Systems MVP. Got to give it to Katron Allen, right? Nobody for Nebraska. Yeah. Are we doing that? I mean, he became Penn State's all-time leading rusher. As a guy that respects history like you do, I figured you would appreciate something like that.
Yeah.
3,954 yards.
That's a heck of a career. That's a lot of yards.
Franco Harris, Saquon Barkley, Kajana Carter. Like, there's some names.
Yeah, I think like Kurt Warner. Yeah, like Capolet, like all these, like, guys that were, like, legends from the last 50 years. They got a ton of great running backs. So,
for sure.
That's a big deal.
It's a big deal. And so 181 yards. against Michigan State, and then yesterday has 160, and so he's the all-time leading rusher. So I mean, I feel like it's. Would you wanted to have given anybody on Nebraska's team? I don't even know who I would have like.
We didn't deserve it.
So I'm gonna go with Katron Allen, Peerless Energy Systems MVP, and at Peerless Energy Systems, the leading Solaire authorized distributor for Nebraska and Iowa, all about compressed air for any and all air compressor needs. If you're in manufacturing, food processing, utilities, transportation, refineries, anything like that, for any and all air compressor needs, go to peerlessenergy.com. Peerless Energy Systems has you covered. We're also brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors. It's been 60 degrees this weekend, but it's going to start to get cold. This is where your home and your windows need to be on their game, making your home energy efficient, keeping your energy bills, keeping them down. And that's where the Pella experts with their installation, that's just like, it's incredible how meticulous they are and detailed they are. New set of windows, new door can totally change the look, feeling, and vibe, and add value to your home. Give them a call, 402-493-1350. Check them out online, PellaOmaha.com. As we say goodbye, two things. Fake punt, 30-10. You have a big problem with it?
No,
I don't either.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, it's some people were like, wow, you're doing that to Terry Smith, doing that to the guy that gave him the, I mean, he was trying to get that job.
He's
auditioning for the job.
I didn't like his post game. Did you hear his post game?
Oh yeah.
He was like, it was very much like, they're playing for me. It's my locker room. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, take it easy, 4-6, or 4-8,
right.
Like, take it easy. You know what I mean?
Yes. Let's keep it in perspective.
I mean, give me a break.
They are still playing hard, but like, you guys are 4-6 heading into the game.
4-6. Like, I thought that lost him the job to me. Cause like, if I'm the hiring guy, I kind of think like this guy, I don't know. I thought it was the wrong tone.
Interim coaches are a tricky thing. Like Bo in 2003, everybody was just like, it's the interim coach, or something about the interim coach that just like, you wrap Mickey Joseph.
People love Mickey.
People loved Mickey.
They love Bo. I mean, and I understand that because we love Bo. We wanted him. But I do think I didn't love that it was like he made it about him.
Yep.
And I go, that's a bad sign to me.
Well, and like you said, I mean, you got to keep it in perspective that you still got to go win at Rutgers just to get to the Frosted Flakes Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like, I don't know. It felt like he misread that moment.
By the way, I had to laugh. Did you notice whenever they cut to Terry Smith on the sideline, he would have his headset on. He didn't even have his microphone down. It's like, Terry, just give the illusion that you're speaking to anybody. I mean, he just was, I mean, he didn't seriously like if some grad assistant need to be like, hold on, Terry, let's just bring that mic down so it even looks like you're involved in what's going on in that.
Chris Sims, like, finally everyone's like, you think he's got a good chance for the job? And Chris Sims is on the, he's like, they just fired James Franklin. So like, so you're going to go out and hire
Terry Smith,
one of his assistants, as the fix?
0%
chance. I was like, he had to say that out loud. I was like, oh yeah, like,
and come on, man,
no way,
no way. He looks like he's whatever.
He's a Penn State guy.
State guy.
He's been on
clearly,
like
the
players love him, but you just know it's like, look, it's like in the end, like you got to have the credentials to be at a Penn State, or like if you're not like the best coach on the planet, like you just can't give that job to like, hey, we really like this guy.
Can you believe Virginia Tech hired James Franklin?
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's just is there a world that when the dust settles, Virginia Tech is in a better position than Penn State is in?
If they hired James Franklin's assistant, maybe. Like.
I mean, it is crazy when they flash the graphic up there of like the power conference job. Yep, Auburn, LSU, Florida, all these jobs. I mean, there's some Penn State, UCLA, Stanford, Okie State. Like, there's some big jobs that are open.
Yeah,
that's a part of the reason Wisconsin said we're going to hold on to Luke Fickell here. Now, Fickell beat Illinois yesterday, which is pretty amazing.
Because when that coaching carousel is going around, and you don't have like a bunch of options, you're like, I like all those guys,
right?
Then it becomes like you take this risk by firing your guy, and like Penn State right now, I get the sense they're like, what do we do?
Because
you're gonna hire somebody maybe that's not the guy. Like, I just think that's like, I don't know. I also
felt like, now, I mean, maybe this is true. It felt like that from the outside looking in, the whole Rule and Penn State thing, once the extension happened, felt like that book shut.
Yeah.
But I thought to myself, like, man, if Rule goes and if they go and understanding the landscape of how many jobs are out there and the candidates and all that stuff, if Rule goes and, like, let's say they beat Penn State and they beat Iowa and they get to 9 wins and maybe like all of a sudden it's last call and they're like, they're
Penn
playing.
State couldn't get any. Yeah.
They're playing the DJ's like, all right, ADs, it's that time. It's last call. Just the last dance. Get on the dance floor and get you one. If this world were mine,
I get Matt Rule.
But there was a world where
I was gonna say, what song is Nick gonna go?
For some reason, I thought of Luther, Big Luther.
What if it was I don't know, Next Too Close?
Next Too Close. I mean, Next
Matt,
Too Close.
I know you're trying.
But I thought there's a chance, like when the lights come on and it's last call, that all of a sudden you're looking around and like a 9-win Matt Rule.
It's like he's.
But I say all that to say, like,
you're saying he's a 9.
I'm saying now
there's no 10s left. There's no 10s. You saw a 9.
You saw there, and
take that 9.
Well, after that game last night, though, that book completely.
I think that's right. And he got I feel like the extension was like that was it. That was Matt Rule's way of saying. I don't think he would do that without being like.
I'm just picturing like.
I'm gonna be at the bar for last call still.
And there's like James Madison's coach is like in the corner, like
not bad.
Like, oh, you want to dance?
She just got here. We don't know much about her, but
all right, ADs.
All right, ADs.
You know what time it is? The portal about to open soon, and it's the last dance. If this world were mine. All right. Fake punt, no problem with it. I wanted to talk about Terry Smith not having his headset down the whole game.
No, Terry Smith
Terry Smith, no headset. Okay. Well, I mean, we got a little negative there. Felt warranted, but we'll see. Big game this Friday, dude.
Thanksgiving week. It's football. It's the football week. I mean, this is like Nebraska's. Like when you're a Nebraskan, it goes back to.
It does, doesn't it?
Oklahoma, Nebraska,
Colorado, Nebraska.
Day after Thanksgiving, like now it's a special week. It's like it's football week in America, right? Is this the most?
It feels like
football-y week.
Yeah,
in like on the schedule, right?
Either that or like week? The New Year's, like when there's all the New Year's Day and like. Where it's,
I feel like Thanksgiving
feels like
it's because you're home with family,
your fam.
Friends.
You overeat. You sit on the couch. You watch like
football,
the Lions.
You play football. Yeah,
you're used to Madden being like, "See, there's the turkey right there."
How many legs on that turkey?
I don't know why I did a little like Bill Cosby here, but yeah, you're right. This feels like football's in the air.
Yeah,
Iowa, Nebraska, Black Friday
home game. Loving it.
All right.
You go for it.
What were you gonna do last call?
I was gonna say pull over. We're gonna get the Golden Corral. Golden Corral.
Golden Corral, yeah.
Golden Corral.
Coach off and go.
A Hurrdat Sports Network production.